And yes, it is still a thing in the making. And I'm sorry, and yes, it is a thing still in the making. On plans for a brilliant story. Reformed violent person narrates the short, cool life of the idealistic romantic. Mephistopheles, get a poet to describe your life in heroic terms. Or vice versa, perhaps. On unadulterated praise for the self. You have, he has, I have, the fleet, excuse me. You have, he has, I have, the fleet feet of a poet sprinter. The fleet feet of a poet sprinter. On fictional split personalities. He was great. It wasn't my fault. Now he's gone. I did it. I was never great. He was. So here he is. In parentheses, here's me. On listening to the devil before you're ready. Mephistopheles must have come to me when I was too young to fear flying. Parentheses, my first novel, Pride and Punishment, seems to be proof of this. Ambitious, yet in the end, nothing. On writing long, unpublishable first novels. It is very difficult to put all of your energies into a surefire revolution for a year or two of your life, Pride and Punishment, and then drop it in the mail to be dispassionately delivered in 3 to 5 working days. And then drop it in the mail to be dispassionately delivered in 3 to 5 working days. It's very difficult to make something explode when all you have is the explosive, when someone else has the wick and the match. On a writer's needs. The dollar sign worries me quite a bit these days. I fear not having the flexibility I need for my ambitious near future schedule of scientific uncertainty and planned spontaneity. On the disposable photographer back east. I am young, I am educated, I am Irish American. I am happy, I am sad, I am drunk, I am running circles around town. I am doing everything I can to not become a writer, yelling and jumping on the couch, trying desperately, unsuccessfully, to purge the body electric. On the difficulty of saying goodbye to a childhood pet. A man is not a man until he has killed his own dog. Rest in peace, old boy. I miss you much. On the precociousness of young writers. I just reread the introduction to Tristram Shandy. Back when I took class notes on Tristram Shandy, sophomore year in college, I wrote the following down in my notebook. The next good book I read will be the one I write myself. I wanted to thank Lawrence Stern for helping me to see this. I was wrong, of course, but only if you accept that all books that I've read since then were good books the way my book is a good book. My mediocre, largely unreadable book, of course. Let me read that again. I wanted to thank Lawrence Stern for helping me to see this. I was wrong, of course, but only if you accept that all the books I've read since then were good books the way my book is a good book. My mediocre, largely unreadable book, of course. on the burden of being a true modern genius. I am the literary bastard of a grand history and a sad sold-out present, further rubbing out the line between fiction and personal nonfiction, subject and object, narrator and main character, monologue and essay, colloquial speech and conversational exposition, ego and alter ego, one mood and the next, favorite friends and fantasy of the self, farce and serious introspection, between me and the way I felt a minute ago, and the way I'll feel in a few moments hence. On problems that aren't going away. I weave across lanes on the highway. I dream so much I never really sleep. I need physical rehabilitation more than anything right now, and yet I keep sitting, writing, reading, and pinching more nerves in my back. I complain about a lack of cash, but I refuse to work on anything besides that which probably won't bring me any. I have too many pairs of old shoes. I should smile more. I should read more. I should write more dog stories. Yeah. On grabbing at straws for truth. Truth to me is seen now that I have chosen food and drink that exactly coincides with a certain short list I made of things I like to eat and drink from some time ago in a letter to a girl. My words to the girl and my actions, oblivious to each other, have agreed. I read it in my notebook. A small reckoning. On nothing in particular. What could I possibly do with myself but continuously attempt to put cool, trumping lines together? What I know is that I will never win unless I can underdrink and overtan my Irish brother. But furiously, folks, I kid myself here. To win, I must merely learn to smile more around other people and less around the crowd and punishing me. On nightmares and dreaming. Nightmares work. No, nightmares worked. No, nightmares still working me over. I hate the new day when she'd love me in a dream. But I love the new day when she yelled at me or something because I wasn't smooth or cool enough. It kills me what I say sometimes dreaming. On things to do. To-do list. Get a job, get an apartment, fill it with paper, fill the paper with devastating, lucid, greasy ink. I'm getting to the bottom of a Beckett incantation. Godot. God. Dog. To dog. In the vein of kayak. Therefore, God is a dog. And Paul is dead. On traveling through time for maximum mental health. One's riding in the time machine attitude keeps one more alive than another, as there are some, the smart ones, who know all the varying durations of life's short and long moments. I read that wrong. One's riding in a time machine attitude keeps one more alive than another, as there are some, the smart ones, who know all the varying durations of life's long and short hours. I read that wrong again, excuse me. Short and long hours. On modern literary movements. Life is becoming much less Faustian, even less and less Orwellian, much more Starskian, much more Starskian Hutchian. Literature, Starsky and Hutchian. Literature, schmitterature. on fighting to resist sentimental stagnation. Churning up the heavy cream with the crushed ice in the old wooden bucket refreshment maker on the back porch in the late summer of an early life when you were too smart and too full-time energetic to spend your precious time comparing your life and death to the seasons of green sprouts and frost-covered brown leaf sludge that fills a low spot in the sidewalk the way reflecting pools of puddle water did months ago, long before you cared enough to contemplate the death-packed bug mortuary that didn't mean shit until your body aged too fast and your youth went out the window. You lazy piece of... On clowns, jokes, and men. Any clown can write about the man behind the joke. But it takes a special kind of clown to set in upon the joke behind the man. Yes, indeed.